On February 21st, 2021, a grown man was seen on Facebook Live confessing to what he had just done to his girlfriend and her family.
On my soul, bro. On my soul, dude. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, G. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, dude, because I can't even believe I just did, and I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, dude. I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, G. That shit, I just lost it. I just lost it, bro. It's over with. It's over with, G. All that. Man, look. Ain't no motherfucker. Motherfuckers ain't gonna see me no more, G. I ain't running. I've been on a run over a year and a half. I'm not running from these people no more, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me. That's all I'm gonna say is they come get me, Joe.
This is Larry, in a panic after he had emptied the whole clip of bullets on his girlfriend Lasanya Agee, the mother of his son, her grandmother, and her uncle. What is more disturbing is that in his confession, he continued to say he loved her. But the question is, why did he hurt her and her family? The reason is plain chilling, and that's what we're going to reveal.
I love that woman dearly, bro. I love her dearly, bro. I love that lady dearly, bro.
Lasanya's story will leave you questioning who you trust. This case takes us all the way to Chicago. Known as the Windy City, it is famous for its stunning skyline, deep dish pizza, and rich history. With a population of nearly 3 million people, it's a city full of stories, some inspiring, others heartbreaking. It's here that we find the story of Lasanya Agee, a mother of a young son who endured unimaginable pain and heartbreak, but showed remarkable strength. Lasanya Agee appeared to have a happy life. She was a loving mother and a dedicated partner. On the outside, things seemed good, but behind closed doors, she was living a nightmare. She was in a relationship with a man named Larry, who abused her, both mentally and physically. Despite her love for him, his constant torment made her realize she needed to walk away. That decision, however, would come with a terrible price. At first, their relationship seemed perfect. They had a son together in 2017, and everything seemed to be falling into place. But soon after their child was born, things started to fall apart. Small disagreements about daily life turned into full-blown fights, and those fights became something much darker. The 24-year-old had a job at the United States Postal Service, and because she wanted to build a good life for her son, she started another small business online, selling cosmetics, to make more income. She had graduated from Proviso East High School and was seen as a woman full of potential and drive. But behind her brave smile, she was going through physical and emotional torture by none other than Larry. At first, she stayed. She loved him, and she had built a family with him. She thought things would get better, that it was just a phase. But the abuse only got worse. It reached a point when Lasanya feared for her life. She started to believe that if she didn't leave, Larry might one day kill her. This was not easy for her. Lasanya didn't have many people to turn to. She had lost her mother at a young age and didn't have a strong family support system. She felt trapped, vulnerable, and alone. But deep down, she knew she had to find a way out for herself and her son. After enduring years of torment, Lasanya finally made a brave decision. She secretly moved into a new apartment and didn't tell Larry where she was living. She even got a restraining order against him. It was her way of saying she had had enough. She wanted to create a safe and happy home for her son, far away from the fear and pain she had been living in. But her plan didn't go as smoothly as she had hoped. Somehow, Larry found out where she was living. He ignored the restraining order and forced his way into her new home. When Larry showed up, Lasanya called the police, and they came quickly, but he ran before they could arrest him. Lasanya thought she was finally done with him. She believed the police would catch him soon, and she could start her new life in peace. But the very next day, everything changed. When Lasanya came home, she found Larry waiting for her. He had been hiding in her utility closet, and shockingly enough, he had a gun. Her grandmother was already present and did not notice, and he threatened them both. He was furious, not just because she left him, but because she signed the lease for a new apartment without his permission. He destroyed her apartment in a fit of rage, breaking windows and causing so much damage that her landlord told her she had to leave.
Niggas be hoes. Niggas be hoes.
Once again, Lasanya found herself with nowhere to go. Feeling defeated, she returned to Larry thinking it was her only choice. But life with him only got worse. The abuse became more frequent and more violent. She often had visible injuries like black eyes and went to the police several times to report him, but nothing seemed to change. The abuse continued and she felt like no one could help her. Around this time, Larry didn't just threaten her, he began to threaten her family members too. Lasagna loved her family deeply, and she decided to endure his torment quietly to protect them. Therefore, she believed that if she stayed with Larry, he might leave her loved ones alone. But his behavior only grew more cruel, and this is what I mean. One day, Lasagna had saved up enough money to buy a car, which was supposed to be a small step toward independence. But Larry ruined that too. He drove the car into a garage, damaging it badly. This limited her ability to go anywhere, and he used it to control her movements because she could not drive anywhere again. The stress of it all started to take a toll on Lasagna. She couldn't focus at work anymore. She began skipping shifts, partly because of the injury she had and partly because the emotional strain was too much. Her supervisor noticed something was wrong and asked her what was going on. When Lasagna opened up about her situation, her supervisor took her concern seriously. They even arranged for some of her coworkers to walk with her after work so that she wouldn't be alone. The Postal Service also offered to relocate her to a safer place, giving her hope for a better future. She started saving money again and even bought another car, keeping it hidden this time. But she made one mistake. She took photos of the car and kept them on her phone. One day, Larry found the photos. When he confronted her, his anger exploded. He destroyed the car too, driving it into a pole and breaking its windows. Lasagna was devastated. She told Larry she wanted to leave, but his response was even more shocking. He took their son and disappeared. He used their child as a way to control her, making it clear that she couldn't escape him no matter what she tried. Her hope began to fade, and she found herself trapped once again. Every time she tried to take back control of her life, he found a way to crush her spirit. Lasagna had no choice but to keep enduring his abuse, hoping for a way out someday. But she had no idea that the worst was still to come. Lasagna was desperate to get her son back and went to the police for help again, but they told her this was a custody issue and not something they could solve. Since Larry was the boy's father, not a stranger, the situation became even more complicated. But still, Lasagna didn't give up. She sought legal help and managed to get another restraining order against Larry. She hoped this would force him to leave her and her son alone. But even with the restraining order, Larry didn't stop. According to Lasagna, he told her, "You won't see your son again until you come back to me." She filed a police report, but they told her the same thing. This needed to be resolved in court. Despite the heartbreak, she kept going. She returned to work determined to save money and build a safe future for her and her son, hoping that she would get him from Larry. She even bought a third car, knowing that having transportation was crucial for her plans. But just when things seemed to be looking up, her job took an unexpected turn. One day, her supervisor called her into the office. They informed her she was being let go. Lasagna was devastated. Her supervisor explained that a customer had complained about her, claiming she had stolen mail and left it in the trash. Shockingly, the trash included documents that proved her identity, including her son's birth certificate. Lasagna knew the accusation wasn't true, but she couldn't prove her innocence. She later realized it was Larry who had set her up to lose her job. Just another way for him to keep her under his control. But even after all that, she didn't stop trying to move forward. She searched for a new apartment and even worked on fixing her car. Then, she saw an ad for an apartment that seemed perfect for her needs. Despite a nagging feeling that something wasn't right, she decided to check it out. When she arrived, she was horrified to discover that Larry had set up the fake ad to lure her in. He was waiting for her and begged her to come back. When begging didn't work, he threatened her again. Lasagna didn't want to go back to him, but she also didn't want to risk leading him to the place where her loved ones were hiding. She reluctantly returned with him, hoping to see her son again. Once back in his control, she began looking for another opportunity to escape. This time, she wouldn't leave without her son. Eventually, she found her chance and escaped with her child. But even after that, Larry didn't leave her alone. He kept showing up, demanding she return to him. He became more and more unpredictable, leaving Lasagna constantly on edge. But then, on February 14th, 2021, Valentine's Day, something happened that completely turned her world upside down for her. She got into her car, planning to drive somewhere, when she heard a noise coming from the back of the vehicle. She stopped the car to check and was horrified to see Larry. He had hidden in her trunk and waited for her to get into the car. To make it even more unsettling, he had left a sweet-looking Valentine's gift in the back seat, as if it was some twisted gesture of affection. Lasagna couldn't stay at home anymore. She began hopping between hotels, desperate to protect her family from Larry. She knew he was becoming more violent and feared he might hurt someone close to her. But at this point, even the people around her were hesitant to help. They believed she would eventually return to him again, just as she had in the past. But then, on February 21st, 2021, everything changed. Security cameras captured an event so chilling it shocked everyone.
I guess he's ready
waiting for him to shut the door.
Yeah.
So it looks like he left.
He left
and came around the corner, came back around.
So your brother moved, and it's when he's standing up behind the car.
For her to park, right.
Yeah.
Because he had moved the chair out the way.
Mm-hmm. Look, she's parking.
Yeah, he moved the chair out the way so she could park.
So look, he's coming back again. Oh my God!
He backed back once she parked.
When see her parking, it happens in less than a minute. He's coming out. Look, you're gonna see him. He spoke with her something, and then he comes out of the car. And when he start with her, with your daughter. You see, he's coming out.
He shot her and my
Lower,
brother,
and
my sister was running, so he shot my sister.
Mm-hmm. And you know what?
Then he shoots in the car again at her.
Yeah, and
because his car was rolling and he had to get in.
Mm-hmm. That's the only way he drive away, because the car start driving himself.
Because if it wasn't for that, he would have kept on shooting.
Mm-hmm. So now your daughter opened the door, and the baby
crawls out the car.
The baby crawls through her. And then that's when it happened. Like when I start calling the 911 to get out the kid on the way, because in my mind I thought
he was gonna coming
back and shoot, start shooting again. And I told my husband, let's move away the baby from there.
This was the moment that would change Lasagna's life forever. It was the moment that revealed just how far Larry was willing to go. On February 21st, 2021, Lasagna Agee had just returned home to the 7800 block of South Muskegon in Chicago. After a long day at work, she parked her car and was still sitting inside when another car pulled up beside hers. It was Larry. He was someone she once trusted, someone she had a child with, but now he was the source of her worst nightmares. Larry spoke to her through the car window, trying to convince her to come back to him. He wanted her to get into his car, but she refused. Lasagna stood her ground, telling him to leave, but Larry wasn't ready to walk away. Her uncle stood nearby, behind their cars, possibly sensing the tension. That's when Larry got out of his car, pulled out a gun, and pointed it at her uncle. Without hesitation, he fired. Her uncle dropped to the ground, wounded. Lasagna panicked. She tried to run toward her house, but Larry turned the gun on her and started shooting. She was hit and fell to the ground. Her grandmother, who was nearby, was also targeted. But Larry didn't stop there. He then turned to Lasagna's car where their young son was sitting and fired multiple shots into the vehicle. He emptied the entire clip into the car, bullets flying everywhere. Lasagna's son witnessed the entire incident. The young boy, too small to fully understand the horror around him, luckily survived the bullets fired into the car. He got out to help his mother. He tried to soothe her, saying, "Come on, Mama, come on." It was a heart-breaking moment, one that would stay with him forever. "He was trying to help me." He said, "Come on, Mom," she later recalled. But sadly, he would have to grow up knowing that his own father tried to take his mother's life. The sound of gunfire attracted neighbors, who began to gather, calling for help. Larry, realizing what he had done, fled the scene. But instead of hiding, he did something no one had expected. He went live on Facebook.
I love that woman dearly, bro. I love her dearly, bro. I love that lady dearly, bro. I'll never see another birthday it's over with, Joe. If you love me, nigga, say that shit. Cause this gonna be the last time they never say it. If you love me, nigga, you really love me, nigga, call my phone, cause it's gonna be the last time you gonna be able to say it, Joe. I just f***ed up. And ain't nothing I can do about it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I just f***ed up, bro. And that shit with me, that shit got me. I just threw everything away. Ain't no coming back from this, bro. Ain't no coming back from this shit, bro. Ain't no point in me. Ain't no point in me going against no. If any motherfucker got a problem with me, let that be known right now. Let that be known right now. Any motherfucker got a problem with me, let it be known. All this secret fake blood on you. Any motherfucker, bro. Any motherfucker. I'm over it. I'm already over it. I'm done talking about it now, but I ain't think about it. But motherfucker don't know what a nigga be thinking about on a daily basis when you gotta sit there and you gotta think about this before you get to the motherfucker. The real thought that you need to have in your head. You going through so much other man. On my soul, bro. On my soul, yo. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a mother. I'm hurt like a mother. Cause I can't even believe I just did, and I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, yo. I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, yo. That shit, I just lost it. I just it, bro. It's over with. It's over with, G. All that, man. Look, ain't no motherfuckers ain't gonna see me no more, G. I ain't running. I've been on a run over a year and a half. I'm not running from these people no more, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me, bro. They come get me. That's all I'm gonna say is they come get me, Joe. My soul, and they better come ready. They better come ready. My soul. Any more problem right now, the time is to get it right now, bro. I'm putting up on any more my kids, bro. They you know what I've been through to get here, bro. You know what I've been through to get here, bro, and the slightest thing, bro. I just threw everything away, bro. Like, I just bro. I just up. And then I don't judge. They finna judge me. I love that, bro. That shit. That's the part about it, bro. I'm gonna stay strong, G. I'm over with, KT. It's over for me, KT. I hope you enjoy knowing me.
In the video, Larry ranted about the incident and his relationship with Lasagna. His words were full of regret and anger. He repeated that there was no going back from what he had done. Larry rambled about how he felt people didn't understand him. He claimed he had been under so much pressure that he finally snapped. He admitted he didn't know what pushed him to do it, but he was tired of running from everything. He told his viewers that he knew the police would come for him and that it was the end for him. Throughout the video, Larry tried to explain his action, saying he had been speaking to a friend about how he felt trapped and out of control. He claimed he wanted people to understand what was in his heart, believing that once he was caught, law enforcement would destroy his reputation and make him out to be worse than he thought he was. But it was clear, even he knew there was no justification for what he had done. Back at the scene, Lasagna and her family members were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The bullets had struck her 11 times, yet miraculously, none of the shots hit vital organs. Most of her injuries were to the lower part of her body, with her pelvis and right leg taking the brunt of the damage. Her liver was also severely affected. Despite the trauma, she was alive and grateful to have survived. Her grandmother and uncle, though seriously injured, also survived. Her uncle had 8 bullet wounds, but against all odds, he pulled through. The attack left scars, not just on their bodies, but on their minds. The pain and fear from that day would stay with them forever. At this point, the police quickly identified Larry as the prime suspect. Witnesses from the neighborhood also came forward, sharing what they had seen. It was no mystery who had committed this horrific act. Larry, the father of Lasagna's son, and her abusive ex-partner, was responsible. When reporters later spoke to Lasagna, she recounted the terrifying events of that day. She expressed her disbelief that she had survived after being shot 11 times. She was thankful for the fact that she survived this tragic nightmare. She also believed that Larry targeted her family members because he didn't want any witnesses to his crime. His actions weren't just an attack, they were an attempt to silence everyone around her. Despite everything, Lasagna survived, as did her family, but the emotional scars were deep, and the trauma would be something they would carry for the rest of their lives. At the time of the attack, Larry was still on the run. This left Lasagna in constant fear. She worried that he might return to finish what he started. The fear was overwhelming, making her feel trapped and uncertain about her safety. But eventually, law enforcement tracked down Larry. After weeks of searching, they found him in Louisiana. He had been hiding in an apartment on Mary Jane Street in Mansura. Larry eventually surrendered without incident and was taken into custody. He was brought back to Chicago where he faced charges for his actions. Authorities charged him with 3 counts of attempted murder and 3 counts of aggravated battery. For Lasagna, this marked a turning point. While she was still recovering from the attack, she knew that Larry being caught meant she could finally start to heal. She opened a GoFundMe page asking for help to rebuild her life. In her plea, she shared how grateful she was to have survived. Lasagna explained how hard it was to leave an abusive relationship. Many people think it's simple, but she said it nearly cost her life. Her GoFundMe page quickly gained support, raising more than $11,500 to help her start over. The incident left a permanent mark on Lasagna's life. She had been betrayed by someone she trusted, a person she once loved and shared a family with. But she hoped that her experience would inspire others to seek help and leave abusive situations before it was too late. This case also raises questions about the role of law enforcement. Lasagna had filed multiple reports about Larry's behavior, but no serious action was taken until the shooting happened. Could the tragedy have been avoided if authorities had acted sooner? What if her complaints had been treated with the urgency they deserved? Many wondered how different things might have been if someone had stepped in before it escalated to violence. Lasagna's story is a reminder of how domestic violence can spiral out of control when warning signs are ignored. It makes you think, how many other cases like this are being overlooked? Through her experience, Lasagna wanted to send a clear message. Abuse is never okay, and staying in such relationships only leads to more pain. While she was fortunate to survive, she knew not everyone is as lucky. If you or someone you know is in an abusive situation, Lasagna's story is a reminder to take action. Don't wait until it's too late. Here are 4 more crime stories that are more shocking than what you just watched. And by the way, if you like the way we bring to you stories or you learned something new today, please like this video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet.